Do you ever wonder if the niche that you're in can actually pay you the kind of money that you desire? Or do you ever question or wonder what are the coaching niches that actually pay the most? Or have you ever been confused, or just questioning your niche and wondering if you've made the right choice, whatever that might have been, whatever you selected when you first selected your niche? If you've asked yourself those questions in any of them, look no further, because I'm going to answer all of them and more. However, before I go into that, the one thing that I do want to say and encourage and express is the importance of every single coach. And I typically never use universals, because universals, like every, always, never, they're typically not true. However, in this situation, this is something that I strongly recommend and I strongly encourage, is that every single coach, if you're a coach coaching anybody in any single industry, hear me out, any industry, I highly encourage you to have a high ticket offer. Why do I say that? I say that because when you look at some of the things that you've purchased and I purchased, we typically commit to the level of our investment. If we have not invested a lot, we typically don't invest a lot. And so a lot of times we don't even understand that if we don't charge people enough, we're doing them a disservice, because we're allowing them and we're forcing them and we're encouraging them to commit at a low level when we charge a low price. But when somebody pays a high enough price, they commit to that level. And it's not just charging a lot of money for the sake of charging a lot of money, but it's charging people to the level of their commitment, what they're going to do. Because for some people, you might charge one price for this person and that might not be nothing for somebody else. And so that's why it's also important to know your niche and know your market and know like what they can, I won't even say what they can afford, because the reality is this: anybody can afford anything. And I know that probably sounds contradictory. As I just said, I typically don't use universals, but here's the reality. I don't know if you understand like the value of a Rolls Royce. Like a Rolls Royce is one of the most expensive cars in the world. But if somebody came to you and they said, listen, I'm going to give you a brand new Rolls Royce that's next year's model that has not even come yet, and I'm going to sell it to you for $50,000. Now, if you know the value, you might question like, man, what's wrong with it? What's the catch or things like that? But somebody else might say, man, I have to get this $50,000. And here's the reality. Maybe you don't currently have $50,000 in your possession, but if you got a Rolls Royce, brand new, next year's model for $50,000, you would get very, very creative and find a way to get the money, even if you had to borrow from your enemies. Here's why. You can buy this $50,000 Rolls Royce and you could turn around and sell it for $150,000, and that would still be a phenomenal deal to whomever you sold it to. But and here's the reality. Even if you paid the person $5,000 extra who loaned you the $50,000, you would still walk away with $95,000, assuming that we don't have taxes to pay. But again, think about that. Before this opportunity ever came into your awareness, you never even considered a Rolls Royce. You never even considered that you could afford a Rolls Royce. But if somebody's giving you a $500,000 car for 1/10 of the price, you'll find a way to get it, if nothing more than to make a lot more money from it. So that's only to say that a lot of times, we think that certain people can't afford certain things. So we make our price equivalent to what we think they can afford. And here's the reality. It's never about price. It's always about value. It's never about price, but it's always about value. Because the same thing with that Rolls Royce. If somebody said, hey, $50,000 for a Honda Civic, you'll be like, whatever. You're out of your mind. But $50,000 for a Rolls Royce, man, that is a phenomenal deal. And so the point that I'm making is that, number one, when it comes to high ticket, a lot of times we talk ourselves out of creating or having a high ticket offer or how much we're going to charge, because we think that our audience can't afford it. And really, it's not about them not affording it. It's about us expressing enough value that they see our offer as a Rolls Royce that we're only selling for $50,000. And hopefully that makes sense. But I want to encourage you that if you really, truly want to help people, you have to charge them accordingly, to the point where you actually help them by charging them more, because those that pay attention. And when you think about all of the $27 and $37 courses, man, they got so much virtual dust, and people are not getting any kind of, attention whatsoever. They're not even opening or even logging into those courses because they didn't commit enough. Because $27, $30, okay, I'll get to it later. That's the famous saying, I'll get to it later. But if somebody charged $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, somebody like, I'm doing it now, because I got to get my return, because I invested so much into this that got me outside of my comfort zone. So I just want you to understand that when you actually charge people a premium price, you give them a premium experience, because something about when you charge them, it ups your game and causes you to rise to a certain level where you have to serve and deliver on that same level that you charge. and they have to show up and commit to the same level that they invested in. So it's a win-win on both sides. Now, the thing that I want to get to is this, about the most profitable coaching niches that you can actually tap into. So the first thing that I want to say is this, and there's about 3 things that I want to say about this for you to truly find the most profitable coaching niches on the internet right now. One thing that I would truly encourage you to do is that whatever your passion is, whatever your desire is, I would try to find some kind of way to put it in the health, wealth, and relationship space. One of those 3. Because when you think about this, if somebody has a coaching program showing people with cancer like how to overcome cancer and beat cancer and become cancer-free in 60 days. You're talking about life and death here. How much should somebody charge for that program if they can 100% get people that result, if those people do everything that this coach is instructing them to do on the other side? That's a very well-deserved, if you will, high ticket offer. If somebody want to charge $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, that would be worth it, because that can help preserve somebody's life, or maybe it's not even to that extreme, but even staying in the health space. If somebody, they're a little overweight and they have kids, and it's like the doctors tell them, like, listen, if you don't exercise and lose weight, your children are probably going to grow up without a mother, or your children are probably going to grow up without a father. Just hearing those words, like, there are so many different things that are tied to finances indirectly that can happen in that situation. And that's worth a high ticket offer if you can get somebody results, because thinking about growing up like without a parent, a lot of people that have grown up without a parent understand how painful that is. And that pain has kept them from relationships, it's kept them from jobs, it's kept them from living their purpose, it's kept them from a lot of things. And all of those things have some type of value on it. So indirectly, we can't even really calculate how much money that is just to help somebody, lose weight. And I don't want to say just like it's small, because that's huge. However, I think the thing that people make the mistake of doing is that even when they're focusing on the health space, they minimize how much money that this person could make or not make as a result of their weight, if you will. So there's so many different factors. I mean, it's like, even people that have problems in their marriage sometimes, like maybe it's not because of money. I know money is a big thing too, but maybe it's because of this person's weight. Like this guy, he just watches football and drinks beers and eats spaghetti and bread, and he's just gaining weight. And his wife is like looking at him like, man, this is not the same man I married. And like that could lead to a divorce. And it's like, how much is that worth? And so there's different ways that it's important for us to look at it, because it's not just about us. Because for transparency, there's times where I had programs that were like worth a whole lot of money, but I'm charging based on my bank account, or I'm charging based on how much money I have, or I'm charging based on how much money I need. And I'm doing them a disservice because I'm making it about me and just focusing on getting the kind of money that I need right now, and not really focusing on the result that they desire to get and what it takes for me to help serve them to get that. And charging a premium price is one of the ways that I can do that. But here's the other thing, like even going in the area of like relationships, if you will. And I know I kind of touched on this, but if you have, something in the area of relationships, and it doesn't have to be like, people that are married and things like that. However, that's a great, place to start, simply because they have so much invested. And when somebody has so much invested, they're not just thinking about the right now, they're thinking about the history. They're thinking about all of the years that they've invested, and all of the time that they invested. And that's unfortunately a prime reason why so many dysfunctional relationships continue, because people think about how much they've invested and how much they don't want to lose what they already invested. And when you can help somebody to change their dysfunction to functional in their relationship because they want to stay there based on how much they've already invested, it's like, man, you can't pay for peace of mind. Like sometimes you could put a price tag on it, but you really can't pay for a peace of mind. And so when you have something that can help somebody in that area, like a premium price is well deserving, especially if you want to help them, because they're going to commit to the level of their investment. Like, here's the reality. A lot of times people stay together because of their finances. Like, look, we got this bill together, and I can't afford this bill, and you can't afford this bill either. So, we gotta stay together for the sake of this bill. And that's something that a lot of people do often. And so again, if you have like a high ticket offer that you can focus on in that area, like that is a big enough pain point to cause people to move and take action. And here's the reality. No matter what niche you choose it's always wise to choose something that people have a big enough pain point around, because people, like, we're motivated by two things. We're motivated by either pain or pleasure. And people are 10 times more motivated to get out of pain than they are to be drawn towards pleasure. And if you have something that can truly help somebody get out of a certain pain, they will pay you accordingly. And if you don't charge them enough, they might buy your low ticket offer, but guess what? They're going to search and find somebody else who truly will charge them to the value that they need to commit to. Because people understand that they need to commit to a certain level, and if you don't charge them accordingly, they're not going to commit. And so again, it's all about service. And you serve people when you think about them and not you, because a lot of times we price things based on us and not our audience. And here's the last thing, if you will, just in those three areas. When it comes to money, a lot of people have a big pain point around money, especially if you live in this country, in America, where I am currently. And when you can help somebody to make more money, it's like one of the easiest sales to make is selling money at a discount. Like when you can charge somebody, $5,000, but you can guaranteed make them 50, that is an easy sale. Now, the hardest thing is just communicating that it's not a scam, that it's not something that's not legit. But outside of that, it's an easy sale if you can communicate it and they trust you and they like you and they feel like whatever you're offering, that they can actually do it. Like, that is an easy sale. And the other thing that I would say is this. A lot of times people, they want to get creative. And I think creative is good to a certain extent. But when it comes to something that's proven, something that works, it's like you don't want to get creative with something that's already proven. You want to just stick with what's already proven. And sometimes people make the mistake of trying to focus on these like obscure niches that like nobody's heard of and nobody's ever done this before, and they want to blaze their own trail. And that's fine to a certain extent, but it's not proven. And when you really want to help people, when you really want to make money, when you really want to find like high ticket niches, if you will, then you want to go with what's already proven, like the path that somebody's already blazed before, and you want to just go down that path. And it's not about you being a follower, it's about you going where something is already proven. Because here's the reality. Sometimes people make the mistake of thinking that because there's programs already in this area, because there's coaches already in this area, like it's already saturated, it's not enough room for me, and I can't make any money in it. Here's the reality. Like, it's almost 8 billion people in this world at the time of this recording. Regardless to what niche you're in, I would bet a large sum of money that it's probably less than 5 million people, and that's being extremely generous. And you think about 5 million people in your industry to serve 8 billion people. It's not enough. It's not enough. And here's something else. No matter where you live in this world, no matter where you live in this country, no matter where you go in this country, think about hamburger spots. You got McDonald's, Wendy's, Hardee's, like there's hundreds of hamburger spots, and they're the same thing. They might taste the thing, they might put a little bit something different, they might cook it faster or slower or whatever, but they're still hamburgers. And whatever your niche or whatever your area is, that's the same thing. Like, your offer might look different from somebody else's because you might put, pickles on yours. Somebody put tomatoes on theirs, or you put, onion rings on yours. Somebody put French fries on theirs, going with the hamburger analogy. But understand this, your tribe is your tribe. And when you finally put your voice out there, they're going to hear your voice. Your sheep are going to hear your voice, and they're going to come to you because you called. But they can never answer if you never call. And sometimes we wait and we don't serve people to the level that we can because we focus so much on self. And I want to encourage you to put service above self. And when you do that, you charge accordingly, and you show up accordingly, and you serve accordingly, and they get results accordingly because their leader showed up, their shepherd showed up, and they're waiting on you. And sometimes we miss that. And when it comes to like high ticket niches, sometimes we know what niche to go into, but we don't think that we're good enough to go into that area. We don't think we're good enough to charge that price. And again, that's all focused on us. But when you think about other people, if somebody is in desperate, dire straits right now, it doesn't matter like about your qualifications. It doesn't matter like what school you went to or what certification you have or don't have or what coach you signed up. Like none of that matters. If you see somebody in need and you can meet that need, you're going to meet it. However, the problem with that is a lot of times we don't visibly see their need because we don't even show up to be visible enough to see those people that truly need us. And so I want to encourage you to show up and serve those people that you're assigned to, because the reality is this: once you serve them, the quality of your life is going to rise as well, not just in finances, but also in purpose and fulfillment. And once you set it up right, also from a perspective of freedom, because I'm a prime believer in that when it comes to us truly living our calling, we need finances, we need freedom, and we need fulfillment. If we don't have finance, fulfillment, and freedom, no matter what we get of these three, if it's just one of them, we're going to find some kind of way to sabotage. Because if you have the money, but you don't have the freedom, you're going to find some kind of way to sabotage. If you have the money, but you don't have the fulfillment, you're going to find some kind of way to sabotage. So I really believe that you need the money, the finances, the freedom, and the fulfillment to truly live a life that serves people at the highest level, and also serving yourself in the process. And not serving yourself in the process from like this, this negative, arrogant perspective, but serving yourself in the process from the perspective that the people that you love, you're giving them the best version of you, because all of you is fulfilled and all of you is truly living to the best of their ability and living their purpose, and you're modeling to others what's possible for them by way of what you showing what's possible for you. So I want to just reiterate the importance of truly like getting a niche that is a high ticket niche, and it's a niche that people truly need help in, and it's a niche that you can make a lot of money and you can build the kind of life that you desire around this niche. And the other thing that I'll say is this: like when it comes to people that are already doing what it is that you want to do, look at people that are running ads. And people that are running ads is another proof, and it's another indication of what's working, because if it wasn't working and they weren't making money, they would not be running ads. And I want to caution you to not be tempted to think that just because this person is running ads and you see their ads everywhere, that your people are going to pick them. Because the reality is this: even if your people see everybody else and everybody's offers are great, and they show up and everything's professional, they still want their shepherd. They still want you. So there's always room for you. Your gift will always make room for you. And once you couple your gift with your skill set and your effort, the sky's the limit in terms of how you can serve those people that truly want to show up and show out and be led by you. Now, before I stop on like how to find high ticket niches, specifically how to find like high ticket coaching niches, I want to offer you a chance to create your high ticket offer and create an irresistible offer that truly sells itself. And how do I want to do that? I want to do that by spending 5 days with you. Free 5 days with you in a 5-day challenge. And it's all about creating your irresistible offer that truly sells itself. Now, I want you to go to coachinginfluencer.com, coachinginfluencer.com, and I want you to sign up for this 5-day challenge that truly, and again, it's free. Like, it's 100% free. And the reason why I'm doing this is because 17 plus years ago when I started, I really wish somebody would have shared this information with me. And because they didn't, I truly believe that sometimes the very thing that causes you pain is the very thing that you become passionate about. And I'm truly passionate about coaches truly living to their highest level and showing up as their highest self and making the most money that they possibly can unapologetically, and serving those people on the other side. Because so often, you have a lot of people who convince and teach coaches to like just live in poverty and like just focus on the skill set and the money will come later. No, I'm all about the money coming now and the money coming later, and you're serving now and you're serving later. So again, I truly want to help you to create your irresistible offer that sells itself. And I want you to go to coachinginfluencer.com and sign up for the 5-day challenge. Spend 5 days live with me. It's not recorded. It's not going to be, somebody else showing up. But I'm going to show you the best of the best of what I have and what I've learned and what I've paid a lot of money to learn. And I'm going to share it with you for free, because I truly believe that it's us coaches and people that truly serve others that's going to change the world on a larger scale, and it's not the people who other people look up to as false leaders. Now, I thank you for coming this far, and I thank you for showing up to this channel. Now, before you leave, the one thing that I do want to ask is, in the comments, let me know what niche you're in or what niche you're considering. Because maybe you're not 100% clear on what your niche is, but I want to know what you're considering based on what you've heard in this video. And if you like this video, I want you to give it a thumbs up and smash that like button. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside.